All right, and we're back. Wow. It's been a minute. We've had some things happen in our lives. You've been cut by glass. You've been striked by sickness. And
I'm okay.
And you're still
But I'm
here.
back. I'm still a little
Bring the
nasally.
mic closer to you. What the fuck you doing?
No, it's perfectly fine.
No, it's not. Not
Yes,
these
it
headphones.
is.
A little closer.
Is this better?
Yeah, it's good.
Good.
So today we're gonna Jesus Christ. Today we're gonna go over
That's what happens when you have the mic too close.
Today we're gonna go over fear. Is it fear mongering or fear? Fear. Now, fear can be subjected to a lot of different things.
Like,
Phobias,
Mhm.
fears of things.
Of actual things.
Yeah, I don't
Or
really know.
actual scenarios.
Scenarios, things, sicknesses,
Anxiety.
I want to talk
So
about
you're basically going to take over this whole podcast then.
this is pretty much
I don't have much to talk about.
pretty much DT's podcast today. Gonna get my therapy session on. Fear of, let's start with the small fears in life.
Okay. Like spiders.
Sure.
Okay.
So like whatever, what's the few fears that you have? Very small, probably insignificant
Well,
to.
I mean, I would say ever since I moved to Florida, the flying cockroaches, it's the cockroaches, the ones that fly.
I've never seen a cockroach fly before.
Texas. I know they have those in Texas. I didn't think they had those around here.
When the fuck did you see a cockroach fly? I've
There
lived here for
are-
34 years. I've never seen a cockroach
Okay,
fly.
I thought they were, but the one they jump really high. I swear I've seen it. Okay,
They
anyway,
jump high?
I don't know.
Is that a goddamn
I feel
grasshopper?
like you're just talking
That's a
with-
grasshopper. You're talking about a grasshopper.
Whatever. I don't like the cockroaches. They scare me on a small level. Obviously, I will. Same with spiders. Spiders will scare me.
Okay.
But it's a very small level. It's not like I'm terrified. I can't live when I mean, I have to kill it, or else
What
I
kind of
can't go to
spiders?
sleep. Like big ones.
Like a brown recluse?
I don't know. Anything bigger than this. Yeah.
They scare me, brown recluses.
Yeah.
I've seen the holes that they put in people. I think that just.
Yeah. So
Hold on. Speaking about this, side note, a patient of mine got bit on the dick by a brown recluse putting on his underwear.
what? So like it was in his
underwear.
Oh.
Yeah. So we were talking about it. He's like, let me send you pictures.
You said yes or no?
Oh, I didn't say anything and they showed up during the call. But I didn't see anything. It was just like the base of his cock.
Okay.
It was really bad.
Like infected or like
a brown recluse type of like hole in the cock type of thing.
oh. Yeah.
That'll wake you up in the morning. Go ahead, proceed.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, spiders on a small level, cockroaches. Trying
That's
to
it?
think. I mean, on
two
a
insects?
small.
Okay.
You're talking small level.
Yeah, small level.
Yeah. What's a small level for you?
I'm scared of breaking a toe. Pinky toe.
That's
to be
kind of
exact.
like an anxiety thing. That's like
no.
not something that happens all
You
the
ever
time. Like,
catch your toe on the side of a fucking desk or something? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
I'm
I see that.
I'm terribly nervous of that.
Is that why you shuffle your feet around everywhere you walk?
No, I'm just lazy.
Okay. Okay. So, stubbing your toe. Anything else that's small? I feel like I'm going to learn a lot about you in the
Splinters.
podcast.
Like wood splinters, like deep, like I like picking up wood.
But how often has that happened?
Hey,
to
I'm
you in
just
your
fucking
life?
telling you. I've got splinters before.
Like spiders and cockroaches are something that I see like maybe on a monthly basis because we live in Florida. That's often.
Right.
When was the last time you got a splinter?
I don't know,
Exactly.
but it doesn't matter because you were talking about our fears, small
Oh.
fears.
I think that should be under the category of irrational fears.
Oh, so now you're going to categorize my fears.
You probably have a lot. Okay, so small fears. I'm trying to think of other things. Well,
Paper cuts between your fingers.
so actually, I'll tell you one. Sometimes I'm scared of like when I'm walking up the stairs that I'll trip and fall and like knock my teeth out on the top step. I don't know why. I think about that sometimes. I think because I've like slipped and fallen on the steps, but like, I think that's kind of a fear of mine. You want to bring Ty in for one of his fears?
Yeah, what's one of your
small level?
Let me hear it.
The ocean. I don't know how small that is. I hate the
Ooh.
ocean.
Same.
What
That's one of mine, but that's like a
I like the deep ocean is
Yes.
what I can't handle. Like if I jump out of a boat and look
Ooh.
down and it's just like blue.
nope.
No. Yeah.
Same.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that one
Yeah.
yet because that's a very big fear of mine.
Yeah.
Very big fear. Like I can't even go on a boat. Like I have to be able to see the shore.
I'm okay on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Me too.
It's if the water's clear too, that I'm fine that
Yeah.
if I can like see the bottom or see around me, it's when it's empty, just
Yeah.
nothing. That's
Like if you jumped in the ocean, you just like look down with goggles and there's nothing there.
So I went snorkeling one time, long time ago. I think it was in Key West, and it was like probably 4 feet deep. And
How deep?
four,
Okay.
Go
Go ahead.
maybe 5. I don't know. So you're swimming around, you can see everything, and then I'm swimming, and then there's a drop off, and it's
Oh
black.
shit.
And I was like, "Fuck!"
No.
I turned, I choked on water, and then I got right out of the boat, or right onto the boat. I was like, "I'm done."
Want to hear?
I was like, "I don't want to."
I got a fear. Probably everyone has this one. Jumping in the deep end in the pool and waiting to see the shark. I feel like that's every
Yeah,
fear.
yeah,
That's like a
for sure.
like
What about like? Do you ever have a fear of like a snake coming through the toilet, the bottom of the toilet, while you're sitting there peeing?
if that snake comes through the toilet while I'm shitting, he's in trouble. No, I don't have that fear. I have a fear of sometimes like something's in my shoe and I go to put it on.
I wonder why.
No, it's before you put hot dogs on my shoes. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's step it up a little bit.
Okay. So bigger fears. I mean, the ocean, obviously for me.
Yeah. I've recently gotten scared of heights.
Yeah.
It became a fear.
Like in how so?
We were at my dad's apartment and I looked over. I got kind of like fucking weird.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Like one of my biggest fears is being like trapped
Mm-hmm.
in something that is just small. Like I can't do MRIs. I just fucking that feeling.
About like a van.
A van, fine. Like we said before, I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Travel the United States. That's my big fears.
Yeah, you have
I would say that.
claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic.
I'm not really
Kinda
claustrophobic.
heights.
I'm not really afraid of heights either.
And I'm not talking about heights where like you get on a ladder. I'm talking about like fucking like 40 stories up. You look down, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like.
Would you ever go skydiving? If you could get under the weight category?
I think skydiving would be great. I think that'd be really cool.
It was.
It probably is a
It's
huge
fucking-
rush.
Yeah.
Is it something that I've always wanted to do? No.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I always wanted to do. And so I did it. Would I do it again? Yes. But it's not like I'm dying to go every
Yeah.
weekend. So I have, well, I guess this has to do with water, but for the longest time, if I ever drove over on a bridge over water, I would roll down my windows because I would always be scared. Have you ever seen like how the road just like crumbles and people will like their cars will go like I think it's more
Yeah.
or less like a hole.
Yeah.
But I get scared if I get in a car accident and I get pushed over that I'm not going to be able to get out of the car. So I would roll down my window so at least I could swim out. But yeah, drowning obviously is a fear of mine. So being in the water. But yeah, I don't do that anymore, but I used to.
No. Never had a fear of that. I don't know why. No being burned alive. I never had a fear of that.
No, me
I
neither.
don't know why.
I think like
Claustrophobic.
I think as you get older, at least for me, well, actually I used to be, I still am scared of death. I think just in general of dying.
If we're going to go to the ultimate.
I mean, yeah,
What
like,
do you,
I think
let me ask you something. I think this is probably a really open-ended question, but what are you scared of? What are you scared of about dying? And what I say is that, like, what are you scared about? Like, why are you scared of dying? But what are you scared about? Does that make sense? Like, what do you,
Yeah,
why are
like
you,
why is it? It's. I think it's the unknown.
Mm.
You know, even if I have a belief,
Mhm.
obviously, I believe in God and I believe that there's a heaven. But I think it's just kind of just the unknown factor of like thinking that you can't think anymore. Like when I start thinking about it, I'm like, I can't think anymore. I can't
breathe,
breathe,
see?
I can't do anything. Like maybe my spirit's going to go somewhere,
Right.
but like, what am I be able to see? Who am I able to talk to? You know, I always like to think
Right.
to calm myself down that like,
Right.
oh, I'm going to see my grandma and I'm going to see these people and there's going to be lots of donuts and roller coasters and ice cream.
Right.
Like, you know, I think of like, try to think of happy things. But yeah, I think it's the unknown. Is that for you?
I think we have different beliefs on that.
Oh yeah.
Do I believe in God? Yeah, I believe there's a higher power. I believe there's something, you know, as we talk about like religion and stuff like that. You and I grew up Catholic.
Mhm.
We do have the Bible. We've kind of turned to Christianity, but I think you and I are still in this like weird like limbo where we're like,
Well, yeah, because
very-
you can be, if to get religious, like
sure,
all Catholics are Christians. Not all Christians are Catholics. So we
Right.
grow up Catholics, which means we are Christians.
Right.
We do believe in God, but
I think everything goes black.
you don't think that your spirit makes me sad.
I think
You
something.
don't think you're going to find me somewhere? So all the fucking memes that you send me about this is going to be in our
Right.
afterlife is just,
No,
I'm just going to
it's-
disregard those.
I think that is very. I think those memes are just exactly what religion gives you is hope.
Yeah.
So I think it goes black, and I don't think anything happens after that. I don't know where your body transfers. I don't know what the energy goes, but I think in that moment in time when you pass away, you don't get reincarnated. You don't come back. You're fully gone forever. And that's a scary thing. And I think that's the
Right.
scariest thing, and that is the unknown. But I think that's the scariest thing about death. And to further that, the fear of dying would be to waste your life.
Hmm. Of course.
And I think the wasteful life is more scary than the end result of passing away.
Yeah.
Because I think there is a moment in time, and I've heard everyone say this as they get older, they start to become okay. They're like, oh, you know, your parents, my dad has talked about it, but like, they're like, ah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, you're like ready to, you're like, you're okay now to like, you're only
Yeah.
70, but
Yeah.
you're okay with everything.
Yeah.
And that's fucking baffles my mind that you're okay with just like, oh, if it happens, it happens.
Right. You mean you're talking about your dad?
Well, your parents too, your dad too.
Yeah.
Your dad's just like, ah,
Yeah.
oh. I mean, like,
yeah,
you know.
I don't.
So I think passing away and wasting your life, and a lot of people I think waste their lives.
For sure, but I don't think people realize that
No,
in the moments,
until
and
it's-
it goes by so fast. Like when you're so young. I mean, I feel like college, high school, that was all just like,
Yep.
just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like, well, you know, we think 2000 was 10 years ago.
Right.
Well, it's going to be fucking 25 years ago soon. You know, so it goes by so fast, and until you really wake up and realize that, you know, you have one life and you start doing the things that you love and you have some sort of purpose in life, which we've talked about before on podcast, is, you know, fulfillment and being happy and successful. And you have to define that success.
I think after watching our podcast about the success thing, I think I've kind of
your mind.
I've kind of altered my thinking, because we watch all
Shocking.
of our podcasts. You know, at least I do. I have to fucking edit the clips for the reels and stuff. But I think the success thing, and it really opened up my mind to a couple of things. And the fear of not fulfilling things that you actually want to do in life. I think because people go through life and, you know, one of my fears was never playing football again. And I look back
Yeah.
and I do regret that. And I watched our podcast and I said, no, I don't regret that, but I do regret that.
Yeah.
You know, after you start looking at things, you're like, that was a fear. Like,
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we had the conversation with my parents last time we were in town,
Yeah.
which was very interesting, which is something I've never asked them. And I feel like I would want to ask them again. And I don't think that they've ever been asked that. So we asked my parents, who are 70,
yeah,
and, you know, what do if you regret anything? Like, you know, of course, you know, my parents had us 3 kids. They worked,
well,
all, you know,
I would say paint the picture of your parents because
very like wholesome,
white,
white,
Midwest.
middle class. They're not. You make it sound like they're trashy.
No, they're not trash.
Don't use that accent. They live in Indiana.
Hot.
and like literally the nicest people in a small hometown.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was a teacher, worked at the same school for 40, 50 years. My mom worked at Notre Dame for many, many years, went
Catholic.
to church every Sunday, like, you know,
Wholesome.
just, yes.
Live by the book,
My mom
pays their
doesn't
taxes.
curse unless it's a Notre Dame football game. Like,
Right.
yeah. So it's, so we asked them, you know, like, what, do you have any regrets? Like, cause I'm like, I don't know. My dad used to play baseball. So I'm like, do you regret not? And both of them were like, absolutely. They were like, no, but they thought about it. My mom really thought about it. My dad was just like, no.
But that's crazy.
And I was like, but that's good. It's good.
It is, but
it's crazy to
Okay,
think,
so-
because again, you have to think of people outside of our, you know, fitness journey or what we define as success, because some people are very happy going to work, having a family, and their family and having a happy life is their success. Because I've heard it from so many people besides my parents that like that is everything in life, is having kids.
But
And we don't know that because we've never had
Right.
kids. So
But I wonder. I think there's like so that to me when we asked them this question, we're sitting there, and they were like they were really hard set on no, and I was like, fuck, like here.
And it's not that we're trying to convince them otherwise, but like I have some regrets in my life already as a 30-year-old. Maybe we're just we're not living a good life.
I don't know.
Maybe we go back to church.
But when you ask that question and you sit there and you hear someone like no, like that's really hard for me to believe.
True.
And I don't know.
And maybe they didn't really think about it, and maybe they were embarrassed, you know, because a lot of people, it's a hard question, especially you got to think of it as a 70-year-old that is, you know, how many more years, 10, 20 years of your life that you have left to live, that you're like, it makes you sad and embarrassed that like, I regret it, but like now there's nothing I can do about it. You know?
I just think with that question, I was more impressed with the content, you know, of like, that's it. Like, that's all you wanted to do. Like, I think that's what it is with me when we asked that question and I was like, looking at them, I was like, that's all you wanted. You wanted to be a teacher.
But like maybe, and of course I'll always defend my parents, right? But like, I know that they lived a very simple life.
Yeah.
But I also try to think of, because I know them so well, you know, that maybe if we asked that question or somebody asked them that when they were in their 30s, like us, they maybe would have regrets.
Yeah.
And now that the way their life panned out, they're just like, nah, I'm fucking good.
So would you think that would be a fear of having the regret? Like, and I'll say this. So we haven't talked a lot on this podcast about things in our past, right? And I'm saying in bodybuilding,
What things?
we're talking about fitness in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Right? I'll bring this to myself of what's going on now, where we are currently. I have pulled out a few shows and I've gotten back into bodybuilding. I quit, I come back. And I think as we've talked, I have gone that path of quitting due to the fact that scared of certain situations, but also scared that I wasn't good enough.
Right.
So when you get past that, are you going to regret quitting and being feared that you couldn't fulfill or see where your potential could have been?
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is that the regret to fear ratio, I think, becomes equal. And that's why I came back to bodybuilding.
Right.
As we are now, I am in prep and we are going through these shows,
right?
And we're doing shows, because when I quit fucking 5 weeks ago, I was Like, I'm done. This is stupid. I shouldn't do this. I don't have the hate in my heart. I don't have a lot of things, but but we did have some fearful thoughts of not seeing like, go ahead.
No, I wasn't trying to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead.
You interrupt me, so now you have to talk.
No, I was just going to say, I think it's kind of like that fine line of the things that we've talked about, that while you're in prep, you have a fear of missing out on life events. You have a fear of dying. You have a fear of risking your health. So all the things that we've talked about on this podcast, you have a fear of all of those things that drives you to want to quit. But then you have the fear of, now I'm going to regret if I don't do it because I'm so young. Like, I have the potential. I'm not going to see my the best potential that I could have. So now you have the fear going back into it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think fear can drive either way,
for sure,
good or bad.
Yeah, for sure.
There's obviously good reasons to maybe not do something or to do something. But I think in the situation you're talking about, it's definitely driven you. Fear has definitely driven you away from bodybuilding, but I think it's also brought you back, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about before, we had to pull back because of looking at side effects, health reasons, just life in general, having a different perspective while we're trying to bodybuild.
But the thing is with fear, because you could say like, we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
We really don't. No, we don't. But like, are you going to live life like that all the time? Like, if I do this, I don't know. Like,
dude, you can't.
A fucking gamble every day.
Right.
Like, and I don't know. I hope you play your best hand and hopefully it works out that way. I don't. When people are like, oh, you're going to have fucking problems down the road, and the comments and shit that we see, I'm like,
yeah.
Like,
but I mean, it's as we've always said, it's no different than drinking heavily every weekend, eating like shit every weekend, smoking, like that the majority of people do. Like, you can't live
I guess where I was going with it all is just like the fear is a driver, good and bad. And I don't want to go through life and have any more you always have regrets, but I guess the regrets that you can control.
Mm-hmm.
Because if something happens later on, I'll be like, I wish I never would have took steroids.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
right.
Okay. But if you get in a car accident, you say, I wish I hadn't gone down that road.
Yeah.
Like, there's
always going to be that.
So,
yeah.
I guess looking at your parents, for us, that's not a life that I would want,
Mm-hmm.
And looking at my parents in certain aspects, that's not a life that I want either.
Yeah.
But I've asked my dad that if he had regret, and he's told me yes, no, this and that. I've never asked my mom that question.
Well, yeah. So, you have to also remember that your dad went to prison for a very long time. So
correct.
Pretty sure anybody who went to prison is going to be like, probably shouldn't have fucking done
for sure.
That,
For sure. But I think I've never asked them the question of like, do you want to be a construction worker? You make good money, but like, I'm sure my dad would say I would play football.
Did your dad ever play football?
Yeah, he played football. Yeah, I'm sure he would probably want to play a sport or something.
Yeah.
My mom, I don't know. Maybe she wanted to be a bodybuilder, like
maybe
through and through.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Nah, she likes the horses too much.
But she liked bodybuilding before the horses. The horses came just as a.
Oh, was that her thing? Her thing that she got into after bodybuilding?
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get into horses.
Giddy up, cowboy.
Well, maybe we should ask your mom that and have that conversation.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. But anyways, what's your fear about later on in life? Like, what would be your biggest fear? What would happen later on? Or
honestly, I feel like I'm not trying to sound any type of way, but like if you died, like that would be something that I wouldn't know how to.
Right.
I honestly wouldn't know how to live. So, there's death in itself of like,
sure.
Yeah. But like, I think losing you would be worse, which would in turn, I would probably die from a broken heart. No, you know what I mean? Like that would be, I wouldn't know how to move forward with my life, in any aspect. And I know that people say that all the time. And I know we've talked about it, like with I don't know.
Yeah,
It's definitely different. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, like besides that, I mean, I'm doing everything that I want to do.
Are you living your life that, are you living the life that you thought you might have, or you've wanted, or how did you see, you know, I don't know if the 18-year-old or 16-year-old, how did you see yourself at the age you are now? Would you see yourself where you are now, or you felt like you should be ahead, behind?
I definitely thought I probably would have had kids by now.
Yeah.
For sure. I think growing up, I just assumed that, you know, in my late 20s, I would get married, have kids, that whole thing. I really didn't think much about my career when I started nursing. I definitely don't think that I thought I would be the director and be in that role and actually succeed in that role
Right.
and kind of like it, you know, good days and bad days.
Sure.
You know, as I got into bodybuilding, I think my fitness career is definitely going to where I wanted it to be, you know, with my transformation. And I'm very, you know, I'm like proud of myself, happy with that. Of course, I want a little more, but,
Right.
you know, that's comes with anything. Same with like my nursing career. You know, the brownies,
Yeah.
like, I think that's the only other thing that like I think the brownie company is something that's way more fun than nursing.
Right.
I don't make as much nurse as I do, you know, with the brownies as I do with nursing. So if I could, I would definitely do the brownies and say, fuck nursing.
Right.
So I think that's the only thing that like, and I told you that like the last couple years, I'm like, man, if I can make it work, I'd like to quit nursing and just do brownies and training.
For sure. I wish you could.
And I think that's somewhere down the road, I probably will just do that. Maybe,
I believe that.
Maybe when I hit 40 and have that little midlife crisis, I'll be like, but you know, it just, there's so much security with nursing, you know, with that salary and with the, you know, then making your own company.
Brownies. Yeah.
I mean, we've had the brownie company since 2020.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not making millions of dollars. So
You've done a really good job.
I'm not making.
But you also don't put all your effort into it because you can't. You have a real job, and you have, you know, what, 40 clients roughly.
Yeah.
So how are you going to put, you know, your time is so limited.
Yeah. Anybody who's watching, I'm sorry. The brownies have been slacking lately. I don't have time to do it, which is sad. But I do have a fear. I guess I do have a fear that like those, and I've always felt strongly just because of the discipline that I have in bodybuilding that like, I know I could make the brownie company be successful. And so I do have a fear that like, if I let it go, that I'm losing out on that opportunity that I'm like, man, I really could have made it. I really could have made it something successful.
I understand.
And so I'm worried. That's why I always still post and I'm still trying to do drops here and there because I'm like, I'm scared to lose it.
Yeah, I agree.
But what about you? What would be, you know, same question back to you of your future and your ultimate fear?
My biggest fear is I don't have a college education. I don't have, you know,
that's your,
no, like this is where I don't have a college education. So I don't have a specialty item that I can go into that is a secure sector. I run an HRT clinic. But I always fear that what happens if that goes out of business? What are you going to do now? And I think that's why sometimes I get into this like weird, like trying to build like a brand of myself, but you know, you don't even know what to build at this point. You know? That's my biggest fear. What would happen if that went away? If my job goes away, what are you going to do? And I've been there before, and it's a shitty dark road. You'll get out of it. You'll find something, but like, I do like what I do.
Do you think that like you having navigated through that more than once, it's surprising that it's still your biggest fear because you've already kind of hit that.
Yeah.
And came back and then hit it again.
Yeah.
And came back even better.
I know. I think it's because the amount of money that I make now.
Yeah.
And it's more than what I've ever made.
Right.
I'm very happy with that. That's a scary part. Like, you know, can you make that money again? I'm very blessed and I get taken care of and a lot of good things. But sometimes I think like if that went away, because it is in the back of my head, what would you do? I don't know. Maybe just go all in and take out a loan and say, fuck it, just like gamble it. And then gamble it
Open a gym.
No.
That's what I would do.
I don't know what I would do, but that's what I think sometimes. Just
Yeah.
going into business my own, taking the shot on myself and saying,
What
fuck
kind of
it.
business?
Fuck if I know.
Oh.
I I haven't thought that far, but I think that's one of my fears. Is that, of course, losing you. I mean, we talk.
Second. It's okay.
No,
It's fine.
we talk about
fine.
that all the time.
Totally fine.
It's yeah, that's one of my biggest fears, probably that for later down the road.
I mean, I think it's kind of, and I will say, since you said it's your therapy session, I think that's kind of like a self-worth issue, right? Because because I look at you as an outsider, right? That like you have this, you don't have your college degree, but you have all this work experience, and you hit that low that you were scared of, came back, hit that low again, came back even better, as you said, that like that should make you feel like I can fucking do anything.
I
Like
can.
it doesn't matter
Okay.
if that happens again. Like you shouldn't worry about that 10 years down the road, because like look at what you've done and look at what
Right,
you've accomplished.
I'm just saying
So-
that's just the fear in my head.
I'm just reminding you that.
Well, that's what you get.
All right.
That's what you get. Eat peppers.
So, okay. So, self-esteem. We already knew that. Sorry. You said it's your therapy session. I'm trying to help you. You want to help me?
What do you need help with?
A lot of things.
So we were talking about fear. That's kind of the whole premises of this podcast. I thought I'd be further on in life than where I am now.
Really?
Yeah, man.
In what regard, though?
Bodybuilding
Oh, well.
and
You thought you would have kids?
I never had that like
Yeah, I
That
think that's more of a
staple.
guy thing.
staple in my head. I was trying to bust nuts. Yeah.
Okay. What else? I mean, what else do you feel like you thought you'd be further along, because you're going to be 36, right?
35.
35.
I feel like I feel my life is half over at 35.
Don't put that out into the universe. How many times do you have to tell you that?
I'm not. I'm just saying theoretically from a staple point of view of looking at it, numbers. Average man lives to what, 74?
I don't
Six?
know.
Whatever.
Okay, so you thought you'd be further along
Yeah.
with like money.
Money, house,
Well, yeah, I definitely thought I'd have a house
fuck.
of my own or our
For
own
sure.
for sure before I hit 40, and
That's like 2 years.
that's like we're gonna edit that out.
No, not.
No, but I really did. I thought. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't. I honestly, because kids when I was younger, I thought for sure I'd have kids.
Yeah.
In the past like 5-10 years, I'm like, no, I don't really care.
And then we're like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, now that's a whole discussion. So leave your comments below if you think we should have bodybuilding children.
Okay, well, if you guys think we should, then you guys should fucking sponsor us.
Sponsor us for what?
Like a GoFundMe for it to have a kid. Everyone has goddamn GoFundMes.
Yeah, they do.
Have a GoFundMe to get your
You donate to the cause of the Roth
the Roth
family.
Foundation. For $1 a day, you can save a small child that is starving. Ever see those late night infomercials that make you feel bad? For 10 cents a day, you can sponsor a child in Ethiopia that it has a belly the
That's
size of a
true.
fucking.
They had that.
Yeah?
Well, okay.
Let me ask you something here.
Okay.
Let me ask
I
you
know
something.
where you're going.
Where the fuck is the money going?
Oh yeah,
Answer that.
The money was probably not going. The story is very sad, and of course,
Stories. You know what's
that-
sad? You know what? You want me to tell you what's sad? We sent trillions of dollars to Ukraine. We can't even fucking feed ourselves over here. Let alone
It's very sad.
can't pay my fucking rent. I need a loan. Sorry.
We have no problem paying your rent.
No, we don't. But
Okay, but those kids there are kids out there that are sad. That are sad. Sorry, that are
could have fixed it with
That
the
are-
Ukraine money.
okay. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing.
Well, for 10 cents a day, you could. I can't help it.
Ty's not laughing. Now he is.
Can't hear with these headphones.
That's why I don't wear the headphones. I can hear everything
I
in the
like the
room.
headphones. I feel like I'm inside the podcast.
I feel like I'm in control without them.
Well, what else?
I mean, I think I've gone over all my biggest fears. I think just the fear of also just kind of missing out on life, which I don't know if we've talked about like bodybuilding, but like traveling. Like you and I don't travel a lot.
Right.
And there's so many places I want to go and see. And sometimes it's hard. Obviously, if you're in prep, we're not traveling. Then I'm in prep, we're not traveling. So like I do have a fear of
Missing
like,
out.
I mean, time's gone by so fast
Yeah.
in the last
Past
6
6
years
years.
that we've been together.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like,
But,
man, like I want to vacation more when
Sure,
we're young and we have
sure.
the fucking money to
Sure.
just
So let me ask you this. So one of the things that we've talked about is that in the off season with bodybuilding, you're still 100%, you're still this. And we've come to have you more than myself have more balance.
Mhm.
So we've talked about this, and I think that's why we've quit. That's why we've had this struggle with bodybuilding itself, because we have subjected ourselves to be 100% in during prep and off
Yeah.
season. So
takes up so much of your life that people don't understand.
yeah, but I also think it takes up so much bandwidth in your brain
Mhm.
that you have to do this, you have to do that. So I think in the off season, and people can argue this, and I at this point where I'm at, I don't give a fuck. In the off season, I think you should have balance. I think you should go on vacation and don't worry about packing your meals and eat enough food to sustain, or don't.
Right.
It doesn't matter, because you didn't get that way in just a month or a couple weeks.
Right.
So if you fucked off for 2 weeks, you didn't train, you just ate whatever, you're not going to lose much.
100%.
Things might change. Body composition will alter,
Right.
but you can get that back within 2 to 3 weeks coming back.
Right. For sure.
So I think for myself, that has been a big fear, is losing the progress that I've made throughout these years
Right.
in order to go have fun.
Right.
And at this point, it's not any longer.
Right. Well, and if you did have more fun, or did, I would say, like eat off plan and do
Right.
things not so strict in the off season, you would see that. Because even I tell this to my clients all the
Yeah.
time, like I want you to enjoy holidays, birthdays, whatever. Obviously not something every other day.
Sure.
But you know, you can enjoy that. And okay, so let's say you really overate, you're going to retain some water.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to look the same in 3 days down the road.
Right.
It's going to be fine. Like,
But I think it's good to actually take a mental break too.
for sure.
And I think that's what happens sometimes too. You get so burnt out, you're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, you just
Well, that's kind of how I got after my show with the brownies after my job. And I was just like, fuck it. Because I was baking brownies like 3 times throughout the week. I was going to my job. I was prepping. And then I just got like so burnt out. I was like, I need some time off,
yeah.
you know, because I don't have any time off. But
Oh, that's another thing, like the fear of trying to get everything done. I think that's one of your fears. You have to get everything done, and it's okay to have a little downtime.
yeah.
And I would like for you to take a little more time to relax. Not to say just sit on the couch, but just take some time for yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
And I try to like go to the pool or the beach for like an hour on like a Sunday,
Yeah.
but like that's like my 1 hour of like
Yeah, but
relaxation,
you
which
gotta-
is not enough.
nah, you gotta have more than that.
It's not enough. I got to get on your schedule. Play video games for 6 hours.
Dude, I haven't played video games for 6 hours in fucking many moons.
You were on that kick with the stupid hockey thing for quite a bit.
I was playing a little hockey.
I heard those noises and the puck
A little hockey.
all fucking day.
Little hockey never hurt nobody. It's a white man sport. That's really,
Yeah, I mean-
that's really all I got for fears. I mean, there's not much. Just, I mean,
Yeah, I think-
fuck, man. I think the fear of just not being the best version of yourself and doing what you want. I think that's one of the biggest things in life, and it's really hard because, you know, at the end of the day, do I want to work? No, I just want to go fuck off. I want to do whatever the fuck I want every single day in my entire life. That's living your life. Like people say, oh, life's so short. Live it every day. It's like it's your last. I fucking can't,
You
bro.
can't. You have
I
to-
fucking
you have
can't.
bills to pay.
I have to go to work from 9 to 5. I have to do these things.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't, I'd be fucking, I don't know where I would be right now. We
Right.
wouldn't be doing this podcast.
Yeah, there would be only a limited amount of money.
Right. Oh no, you
I mean, some people are making it work. There's a lot of people in our country right now that are here for free.
oh, we're going politics on this?
I'm sorry. I was just stating a fact. It's not political. It's a fucking fact.
But people say live your life to the fullest. It's going to end one day. That's great. We can only do that if we hit the Powerball, and that Powerball has to be probably $500 million.
If we hit the Powerball, you're going to blow half of that shit with your dad doing stupid stuff.
35. What's half of 35? 17 and that? 17? Yeah. So I would live until I was 50. I fucking have.
Good ass shit. It's okay.
Skydiving? Oh, dude, I would definitely skydive. I'd go up in a plane with a parachute and just shut it off and just let it fall out of the sky and then just jump out. That's if I had a lot of money. Sounds
very smart.
Sounds pretty fucking cool.
Sounds very smart.
I kind of
You
like
definitely thought this through.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Good talk.
Nah, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching for our fears.
Comment below what your fears are.
Yeah, let us know. And we need some topics. So next time you guys,
Well, I think our biggest thing is we kind of want to know if people will comment. Do you want us to talk about more things that are bodybuilding related or not? You know,
yeah,
I kind of want to know if we should keep going the bodybuilding route or kind of have a mixture or
because we get stuck on
start having guests on the show that have to do with bodybuilding or not have to do with bodybuilding.
Yeah. So
I kind of think that's one of the things that, you know,
we need help.
It's like we're happy to talk about whatever.
You guys,
obviously.
Yeah. If you guys can comment below and tell us what you guys like, that'd be a huge help for us because we actually get stuck a lot. And today we just kind of freeballed it into the fear category.
Yeah, we actually didn't have a list, which gave me a little bit of fear today.
Yeah.
But we made it through.
Yep. Please subscribe. Please share this video. Please like it. Please do something with it because we pay for these things. And you guys just watch it. So
waste an hour of Ty's day.
so thanks for watching and stay tuned.
See you next time.